There's a darker side of Drake that you may not even recognize or know, but be sure to like the video and don't forget to subscribe. The King Trending. Number 5. Temper.
He looked as if he knew that he just made a big mistake, or like he started something that he shouldn't have.
I want you to picture Drake in your mind. Any picture. When I say his name, what do you picture? Do you picture a guy who has made some many music tracks and epic music videos? Or do you picture him in front row at the Toronto Raptors game?
He's our Jack Nicholson. You can go all over the world and they'll know who Drake is.
Or how about his legendary meme material? Well, the fact of the matter is that Drake may well play calm and collected as an individual most of the time, and it's also true that when it comes down right to it, Drake hides a very dark temper. If you desire proof of this, you honestly don't even have to go that very far. For example, remember when I told you about Drake's love of Rihanna? Well, her most infamous relationship was over her being with Chris Brown, who wasn't really kind to her in any shape, way, or form when you get right down to it. Anyway, after a big separation that spilled all over the news, Drake dated her, and Chris Brown tried to play it off coolly by talking to Drake at a nightclub and saying that there were no hard feelings. Except Drake didn't really want to hear it, and so he said some not so nice things about Brown, and then Brown threw a jab, and then Drake threw one back, and the brawl was on.
Sucker, you hit me with a like. Once he got hit, he turned into a whole nother person. Like, he wanted to fight.
Oh, one-time affair, you say? Yeah, not so much. Another time at another nightclub, his crew was insulted, and he went after people after being taken out of the nightclub, and he threw thousands of dollars at the bouncer in order to let himself back in, because he wanted the people who were talking smack. Oh, but it doesn't end here. Last year, during his time watching the Raptors, they had a match against the Washington Wizards, and when they did, he got into a shouting match with Kendrick Perkins. The shouting match got quite intense to the point that they had to separate him by both teams. And then he went and followed him back into the locker room area to talk some more smack. So as you can see, Drake is never afraid to defend himself, and that's fine to an extent. But the truth is that he's had a hard time controlling that temper, and that gets him into a lot of trouble. And while he himself hasn't gotten fully arrested or put in the jail for his temper just yet, it may only be a matter of time. And even when his temper isn't over, it's definitely there in certain aspects. Number 4, this is clearly a not.
Wishing death on my friend that has MS. I study rap battles for a living.
As I've now established, Drake does not like to be insulted, and he most definitely doesn't like it when people take shots at him. But obviously, he can't go after every single person physically. That would be too dangerous and foolish. So what does he do? Simply, he uses his music to diss everyone who doesn't give him the respect he deserves, or the respect he feels that he deserves. An example of this would be what's going on right now with Kanye.
This song towards me you produced, that's talking about writing?
Yeah.
Kanye started a feud with Drake last year when he made claims that Drake had an illegitimate son, which now have been proven to be correct. But did Drake take that well? No, he did not. He spent much of 2018 putting out disses against Kanye and his songs, and apparently it didn't stop there. After speaking with Kanye, I spoke with another brother, and he didn't want this. J Prince said, "I saw this going to a place that I feel would have ended his career if Drake would have put this song out that he had on him. It definitely would have hurt families, and we're not in it for that. That's not Drake's character to tear down a man to that extent." So as you can see, Drake was vindicative enough to make a song that might have ended Kanye's career. Granted, the man has almost torpedoed his own career in the past by making his own words, but yeah, this is way different. And this is just one of many feuds that Drake has had over the years. And trust me when I say it's been a lot of feuds. Pusha T, Ludacris, Kendrick Lamar, and so many more have gone toe-to-toe with Drake. Sure, some of them have been squashed, and some may actually have worked for Drake later on, but the point here remains. Drake is willing to go to extreme lengths to settle his scores. So if you go up against him, you better be prepared. Number 3, his secret son.
Like, I knew something was gonna come up about my kid. They had to add like the deadbeat thing to make it more appealing, which is fine, I understand it.
More accurately, his not-so-secret son anymore? Ironically enough, Drake spent the first year and a half of 2018 denying that he had a son, even singing about it in some of his songs. And when Kanye West hinted that Drake had an illegitimate son in one of his songs, Drake went on a warp path about it and did his best to discredit the rumors, but now he's come out with the truth. He does indeed have a song called Adonis, and he had said child with an adult film star named Sophie Brussix. The significance of this is much folded, but not the least of which is that Drake himself has sung multiple times that he would never sleep with a woman if he didn't want to sire a child with her. And yet when Sophie came out and said that she was pregnant with his child, he outright denied it, and now he's backpedaling hard in order to come off as a better man, even doing interviews solely about this development. "I am a single father learning to communicate with a woman who, you know, we've had our moments," Drake said. "I do want to be able to explain explain to my son what happened, but I don't have any desire for him to like not love his mother, or I don't even want the world to be angry at his mother. We have found ourselves in a situation and we are both equally responsible. Claiming responsibility for his actions is good, but whether he truly means them or not is a bit of a tricky subject. There's no doubt that he has ill feelings for the boy himself, and that's not in Drake's character, as he claims to have an unconventional love for Sophie. But that may not be exactly the case, because by his own admission, the thing he feared most about this whole situation was telling his mother of what he had done. I think I was more scared to tell my mom because my mom has had real relationships with women in my life over the course of many years that I'm sure she would expect to be elated, or if I had gotten one of those women pregnant. It was tough for me to tell her that it was someone she's never met. So right here, he admits for the shame of what he's done. Drake's life has pretty much been an open book, and one of the many pages of that book was about his mother and father, how they divorced when Drake was young, how his dad left him and his mother went to the States.
To my mother, you know, she's an independent lady, she's on her own, so it's always tough to leave her for a long time.
To start a music career for himself, and how he got arrested and spent much of Drake's early life in prison instead of with him. Drake fought hard to not be that kind of man, and yet here we are. He's got an illegitimate son, a lover as his mother, and he's not really sure what to do with this. Despite this though, many note that Drake will take good care of Adonis. Drake is actually quite the opposite of a deadbeat dad, a source told Entertainment Tonight. In fact, he's been financially supporting Bro 6 before and after her pregnancy, so Drake will be a good father, no doubt.
First Christmas gift from his son Adonis. Jersey captioned the photo of the finger painting Adonis greater than Picasso, don't at me.
But if this secret came to life, there's another question out there that needs to be answered. Number 2. Other mistresses.
Who currently lives with their son in France, claimed that she was pregnant with Drake's child early last year and she eventually gave birth to their son in October.
Granted, this is one that's more likely a speculation than anything else anyway, but it's something that needs to be addressed. After all, Drake denied Sophie and his relationship for a very long time, and not the least of which is because of her profession as an adult film star and how that would look on his image. But the entire situation with Adonis raises one big question of all. If he slept with her enough to get her pregnant, who's to say that it doesn't have more women on the side? It's an honest question, and while early 2018 would have had everyone saying, how would Drake? No way. In 2019, that's no longer a viable response to the question. Sure, it's impossible to know whether Drake has been with more women on the side, but the truth of the matter, many singers, actors, athletes, and many more have no trouble being with men or women that are not attached with in a long-term sense. And many of them have been caught in the act in rather horrifying ways at times. And now you can add Drake to that list. And given his popularity and worldwide fame, it's really hard to imagine that this was a one-off deal. And it's not even because of his fame. And I say this, but rather he's admitting his feelings for other women in the past. Drake has admitted to having feelings for fellow singer Cardi B and Rihanna, and he once said that he really hoped to marry Rihanna one day so that he can have the perfect family with her, which in some eyes can be a little creepy, but whatever. So clearly those two relationships didn't happen. So when that doesn't happen, what is a guy like Drake to do? Easy. He goes and finds another woman to share his bed with so that he can blow up some steam. As we're at it again, more people do this than you might think, especially famous people. And it's not like Drake would have had to work hard in order to find such a woman. It all really depends on his mood and such. I'll admit, it's impossible to say whether there are other women out there like Sophie, and if there are, how many? But that's not really the point. The point here is that Drake has shown that he has these impulses, and if he could have done it once and try to hide it, it really makes you wonder, what else may he be hiding? Number 1, the hidden darkness.
Things like a family or a relationship or I don't do any of that. I just kind of work.
To get really deep and philosophical here, the honest truth about Drake is that we only know what he shows us about his life. Sure, the early parts were open for everyone else to see, and he wanted people to see what he came up from, for that's natural. But now, he's $100 million richer, if not more. He's got music awards and titles. He's going to be more selective of his life.
It's like the first time in Grammy's history where I actually am who I thought I was for a second, so I like that. That's really nice.
He knows everyone is watching anyway, and he'll be a bit more paranoid about it, so we don't know much about what he does after he gets off stage and when he goes home and when he gets on his fancy planes to go to places unknown. There could be so much more to the shady nature of Drake than we might even realize. And for when it eventually comes out, it'll be more than just a meme. It'll be a wake-up call potentially. And then the real question will be, did we ever really know Drake? So there you have it, some of the darkness that lies inside of Drake. So So what do you think about these revelations? Are they proof that Drake isn't exactly who he claims to be? Which do you think is his greatest darkness? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe to King Trending, and I'll see you around. Hey, just a reminder that we're changing up the giveaways. From now on, we're offering the Galaxy Note 9, the one that comes with the exclusive Fortnite skin, the new iPhone X Max, which we'll pre-order for you, and the new Apple Watch Series 4, which we'll also pre-order for you. The winner gets to decide between these three. Make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, drop a like, and comment the hidden message in the video for a chance to win. You got nothing to lose. Go for it.